Welcome back to Ventureverse. Before we jump into today's deeply troubling topic, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We're dedicated to exploring the hidden stories and truths in our society, and today we're uncovering a shocking reality: sundown towns in America that still exist today. You might be surprised to learn that while many believe the era of segregation and exclusion is long gone, remnants of this dark history persist. So buckle up as we delve into the unsettling world of sundown towns, their history, their present, and the ongoing impact they have on communities across the nation. To understand the gravity of this topic, we first need to define what a sundown town actually is. Sundown towns are communities that historically enforced a policy of racial segregation, often communicated through unwritten rules or even explicit signs stating that Black individuals, or people of other races, were not allowed to be present after dark. The term sundown refers to the time when the sun sets, indicating that it was unsafe for people of color to remain in these towns after sunset. This policy was enforced through social norms and, in many cases, violent reprisals, creating an environment of fear and exclusion. But why did these towns emerge, and how have they managed to remain relevant in today's society? Let's take a closer look. The origins of sundown towns can be traced back to the post-Civil War era, when African Americans sought to establish their lives and communities in the United States. During this time, many white residents reacted with hostility to the newfound freedoms of Black individuals. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a wave of racial violence, including lynchings and mob attacks. Many towns enacted unofficial policies to make it clear that they were whites only after dark. In the post-World War II era, as the civil rights movement gained momentum, sundown towns began to face scrutiny. However, many of these towns managed to maintain their racial homogeneity by fostering an environment that discouraged diversity through social pressure, and in some cases, violence against those who dared to enter after sunset. Despite the progress made during the 1960s and beyond, the legacy of sundown towns remains, and many continue to exist under the surface, often unacknowledged by their residents. Now let's take a closer look at some specific sundown towns that still exist today. Anna, Illinois is one of the most well-known sundown towns, and it has a long, troubled history. Although the town has made some progress over the years, many residents still hold on to the old ways of thinking. Dixon is another town that has a history of exclusion. The community has openly discussed its past, with some residents expressing discomfort with the idea of racial diversity. Lakeview is often cited as a modern-day sundown town, where the absence of diversity is noticeable. Many residents have reported feeling unwelcome or uncomfortable in the community due to its predominantly white demographic. Pana has a long-standing reputation for being unwelcoming to people of color. The town's history includes several documented incidents of racial violence, and while it may not have explicit laws, social cues continue to discourage diversity. There are many other towns across the country that still operate under the unwritten rules of sundown towns. From small communities in the Midwest to larger towns in the South, the remnants of this painful history can still be found. These examples serve as a stark reminder that the legacy of segregation is alive and well in many parts of the United States. The existence of sundown towns has far-reaching implications for the communities involved. The impact is not merely historical, it shapes the social and economic landscape of these towns today. Many sundown towns experience economic stagnation due to their lack of diversity. Research has shown that towns that embrace multiculturalism tend to have stronger economies and better job opportunities. Conversely, sundown towns often face challenges such as declining populations, limited business growth, and lower property values. Socially, sundown towns create an environment that isolates individuals based on race and ethnicity. This isolation fosters a culture of fear and mistrust, making it difficult for residents to engage with one another and build a cohesive community. Education is another area where sundown towns face challenges. Schools in these areas may have fewer resources and less diversity, which can affect the quality of education and limit students' exposure to different cultures and ideas. The psychological toll on individuals living in or near sundown towns can be profound. For people of color, the fear of violence or social ostracism can create a hostile environment where they don't feel safe or welcome. This can lead to stress, anxiety, and a sense of alienation. The economic impact extends to property values, with diverse areas often seeing more stable or increasing home prices. Moreover, the lack of diversity often leads to labor shortages and limited economic growth, as evidenced by the abundance of unfilled job openings in these areas. To better understand the impact of sundown towns, let's hear from individuals who have lived through these experiences. Their stories shed light on the ongoing challenges faced by those in and around these communities.
I grew up in Anna, Illinois, and I remember hearing stories from my grandparents about the signs that used to hang at the entrances to town. Even today, I feel the weight of that history when I walk through the streets.
Moving to Dixon was a culture shock for me. I quickly understood that my presence wasn't welcomed. Even simple interactions felt charged and uncomfortable.
In Lakeview, it's not that anyone openly says you can't be here. It's the looks, the whispers, the unspoken rules. You just know you don't belong.
These personal accounts are a powerful reminder of the human cost of racial segregation and the ongoing struggles faced by individuals in sundown towns. Media plays a crucial role in bringing attention to the existence of sundown towns. Documentaries, news articles, and social media campaigns have shed light on these communities, helping to raise awareness and foster dialogue. Storytelling has the power to change perceptions and challenge long-standing beliefs. Documentaries that explore the history of sundown towns can help educate the public about their implications and encourage conversations about race and inclusion. Social media has also become a platform for advocacy, allowing individuals to share their experiences and raise awareness about the realities of living in sundown towns. Hashtags and campaigns can mobilize communities and ignite discussions that lead to change. Educational initiatives that focus on the history of racial segregation and the existence of sundown towns can help dismantle ignorance and promote understanding. Schools and local organizations can play a vital role in fostering this awareness. So, what can we do to address the existence of sundown towns today? Here are some actionable steps that individuals and communities can take. Knowledge is power. Communities should advocate for educational programs that discuss the history of sundown towns and the ongoing impact of racial segregation. Fostering open dialogue within communities is essential. Organizing town halls and discussions can provide platforms for residents to share their experiences and work towards solutions. Local organizations that promote diversity and inclusion should be supported. Participating in events that celebrate different cultures can help break down barriers and foster a sense of belonging. Advocating for policies that promote fair housing and equal opportunities can help dismantle the structures that allow sundown towns to persist. This includes supporting legislation that addresses discrimination in housing, employment, and education. Building alliances with neighboring communities can also be beneficial. Collaboration can lead to shared resources, initiatives, and a stronger commitment to creating inclusive environments. While the existence of sundown towns is a painful reminder of America's history, it's important to hold on to hope for a more inclusive future. Change is possible, and it starts with each of us. Younger generations have the power to challenge the status quo and advocate for change. By being informed and engaged, they can help create communities that are welcoming and inclusive for all. Imagine a future where sundown towns are a thing of the past, where communities come together to celebrate their differences rather than fear them. This vision is achievable, but it requires collective effort and commitment from all of us. Thank you for joining us on this important journey into understanding sundown towns and their impact on our society today. Remember, ignorance is not bliss. Awareness is the first step toward change. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What are your thoughts on sundown towns? Have you experienced or heard of similar situations? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the truth with Ventureverse.